AFTV Transfer Daily, the show that keeps you up to date with players that have been linked with a January transfer move to Arsenal.
Hi and welcome on to AFTV Transfer Daily, the show that keeps you up to date with players that have been linked with a January transfer move to Arsenal. Brought to you today by Rocket Mobile. Once again, don't forget, you can get 20 gigabytes of roaming data, especially when you're going around Europe. No contracts on this, and you get to keep your own number. So listen, if you want more details, want to change your mobile, you're on a contract that's too expensive, this one's only £16 a month. Click the link in the description to get more details. Now, big up to Arsenal, through to the next round, as we know, of the Champions League, made a reported £50 million by topping the group. So £50 million into the kitty to buy players, hopefully. All right. But £50 million is said to be the amount that they made, or just under £50 million from topping the Champions League group. So, they've done very, very well indeed. All that moneyed stuff don't really mean a lot to the fans. It's about going on and winning the thing. But let's get into the transfers for today. Just before I do that as well, I want to thank everybody who joined our live yesterday. We did a special live transfer daily where, I took your comments, and I have to say, you guys came with some brilliant comments and lots of fantastic, suggestions for transfers, etc. So thanks for everybody who joined that live. May possibly do another one before the end of the transfer window. But on the transfers today, Oleksandr Zinchenko looks like his move to Ajax is finally completed. We know that he's been on loan from Arsenal to Nottingham Forest. His contract's up at the end of this season. Forest wanted to cut the loan deal short. Ajax came in initially, wanted to take him on loan till the end of the season, and then thought to themselves, actually, no, what we want to do is we want to get a permanent deal in place for Oleksandr Zinchenko. So they've been negotiating with Arsenal, and it has now been done. He's set to go and do his medical today over there in Amsterdam, and will be unveiled as a new Ajax player. Deal said to be around about 1.5 million euros. Doesn't seem like a lot, I know, but his contract was finishing in the summer. So Oleksandr Zinchenko done well for Arsenal. Let's not forget, when him and Gabriel Jesus came in, they kind of transformed Arsenal mentality-wise. All of a sudden, we started challenging for the title. I think Oleksandr Zinchenko can look back at his time at Arsenal. He did very well. Shame he didn't get to win a title, but he really helped in, that process, as we like to call it, of Arsenal, turning things around and starting to become a team that challenges for things. Now, also been linked with yet another left winger. We know that, and speaking to people who came online yesterday, the left wing position does seem to be an issue for a lot of fans. And the latest player that they've been linked with, according to a publication called Sports Boom, is Bazoumana Touré of Hoffenheim over there in Germany. He's 19 years of age, a very young player, Ivory Coast international, and as I said, plays on the left wing. He's been interested in a lot of clubs this January transfer window. Manchester United, another one of those that's said to be really, really interested. The problem is Hoffenheim will be looking for a very, very big price indeed. Rumours that they'd be looking for around about £48 million. I'll tell you what, these players are getting more and more expensive. The Premier League tax is in full effect. He's got a long contract, though, contract till 2029. And has been having a really good season for Hoffenheim, hence why so many teams are taking a look at him and have been scouting him with an interest to really signing him. I see this as unlikely this January transfer window, especially with that type of fee, but he definitely is a prospect that a lot of teams are looking at. So one to look out for, Bazoumana Touré, Ivory Coast player who plays for Hoffenheim. Another player that Arsenal is said to be showing a lot of interest in is Natan. Natan is Brazilian. He plays for Real Betis and he's a centre-back. Only signed for Betis in the summer. But he's been putting in so many good performances that, you know, he has gained a lot of interest right around Europe, especially over there in Spain. Could this be another sort of mascara move by Andrea Berta? Of course, he knows that Spanish league very, very well. He knows it inside out. Chelsea and Newcastle, 2 teams said to be very interested in Natan, apart from Arsenal. Real Madrid also, I mean, you can see Real Madrid when they're playing, they got defensive problems. They are also said to be interested in him as well. The story talking about Natan says that he preferred to stay in Spain, and of course, if Real Madrid come knocking, you know, why not? But Betis would demand a very, very high fee indeed. He's got a long contract till 2030, as I said, only signed in the summer. And it's rumoured that they'd want around £40 million to consider selling Natan. So another centre-back that Arsenal are looking at. We like our defensive players, as I always say on the show, but Natan, the latest player that Arsenal are looking at. What's going to happen with Martin Ødegaard? Seems to be coming under a lot of pressure. I think some of this is very unfair, some of the pressure he's coming on under. Don't get me wrong, hasn't had the greatest of seasons this year, without a shadow of a doubt. I said that this weekend I'd start Eze. But there's still lots of rumours flying around today that he could leave this summer. Bayern Munich said to be very interested, and Inter Milan. Spoke about this a couple of days ago. And he was said to have been unhappy when he was substituted off early against Manchester United. I mean, for a captain to be taken off so regularly in games this season has been a bit eye-opening. And maybe that's what's sparking the interest of a lot of these clubs around Europe. Arsenal, of course, have valued him at a lot of money. 75 to 80 million pounds is his current valuation. They'd want a lot of money to even consider selling him. We know Mikel Arteta loves him as a player. But I do think that this season could be a crossroads for Martin Ødegaard. I think finish off the season with silverware, win a title. You know, I don't see Martin Ødegaard moving or leaving. I think he stays. He basks in the glory of, you know, helping Arsenal to lift a trophy. If it was to be another trophyless season, you never know. Martin Ødegaard could be on the move this summer, and there would be a lot of suitors. So interesting next 5 months, I'd say, for Martin Ødegaard as an Arsenal captain and in an Arsenal shirt. It's really, really, really interesting time. A player who's got his whole future right ahead of him is Max Dowman. We haven't seen him play for a long time. He's been out injured. He's had an injury that's kept him out for quite a while. But the good news is he's signed a new scholarship contract at Arsenal. We forget that he was only 15, just turned 16 on New Year's Eve. He can't sign his pro contract until he turns 17, which will be obviously New Year's Eve 2026. But that's a big coup for Arsenal. There were clubs all over Europe scrambling to try and sign Max Dowman, but he's committed his future to Arsenal by signing his scholarship, and he's set to commit his future further after that when he turns 17 with a new long-term contract at Arsenal. And that is only good news for the club, having one of the hottest prospects in European football. So those are the rumours for today. Remember, there's only a couple of days to go of this January transfer window. Will Arsenal make any signings? Let's wait and see.